I think the Rolling Stones said something like this: I can't get no job satisfaction. A new study finds a majority of those lucky enough to be employed these days are not happy with their jobs. The Conference Board, which tracks business trends, says only 45% of Americans are satisfied with their current position, and that is a 22-year low. If that sounds like you, fear not. Sue Morem, author of How to Get a Job and Keep It, joins us with our tips for how to be happy at your job when it's not a great time to leave your job, even if you don't like your job. So really, people out there, and let's be honest here, the polls show it, not very happy, a number of Americans out there. So you got a couple options. You can either suck it up, you can quit your job, or you can try to make your environment a little bit better. So how do they do that?
That's a better option.
Yeah.
Right? You have to pay attention to your feelings, your emotions every day. And sometimes when we feel helpless and things are out of our control, we tend to blame others. We look outside of ourselves for the solution, when in reality we have to look to ourselves first. It's always a good idea to make a list of the pros and cons of your job, and then focus more on what you like about your job. Sometimes you have to remember what got you excited about going there in the first place.
So pros and cons.
Pros and cons,
right?
and remind yourself of those pros and the positives every day, and try not to focus so much on the negatives. You know, stay away from the office gossip and the negativity, and don't complain. And instead of focusing on them and they, look to yourself.
Is that kind of like a daily affirmation to, if you're going through a rut, to look at those pros every single day?
I think it's a great idea to remind yourself. I mean, and for some people, just being grateful that they have a place to go to is important. You know, I hear from a lot of people who are unemployed and they miss that daily interaction with people and going to work. So you have to remind yourself of what could be worse.
All right, let's talk about some more of these tips. Let's say you are looking for a job. That's fine, but your current job is really your focus. So how do you break up the monotony if you're just so bored with your current role?
Well, you have to rethink your whole job. I mean, view it differently. Add some creativity. I know a receptionist, and one of her daily mundane tasks was to send out an email every morning. So what she started to do was, every day she started the good morning in a different language. It became a challenge for her to find different languages and learn them, and people began to respond differently to it. And so sometimes we just have to put our own creativity, a little spin, bring our personality into what we're doing, or find a new challenge. You know, if you're really frustrated, you think meetings are boring, do something to liven them up.
And it's also got to be tough for the people you work with, too. I hear this a lot, especially from Lonnie. Just hates the people that he works with. So what can you what can you then do?
Well, you know, it's a very difficult situation where you're working with people that you're frustrated with or don't get along with, because that just adds stress. In fact, a lot of workplace happiness comes from the very relationships of the people that we work with. So break the ice with those you have tensions with, find some common ground, do what you can to improve and manage those relationships, because not only will they make it bearable now, but they may be a lead to something in the future.
Not the worst case in the world to be the first person when you're walking down the hallway to say hello or to extend a hand.
And
good morning.
You know, it really is important just to reach out, connect with others. Sometimes the people are all we have in a bad situation.
We talked about frustration a second ago. It's obviously a very tight job market out there. What can people do to just kind of stay motivated when it comes down to looking for a new job? Because it is discouraging.
It can be discouraging, but never give up your hopes for a better future. Have a vision, have some goals, be proactive, be getting prepared and doing things now to actively participate in your future. So always keep your resume updated, you know, keep your network going, and when the opportunity arises, you will be ready.
And finally, on a lighter note here, I have a friend, and I'd really rather not mention her name right now because we are on national television and I don't want to talk about it, but she just changed jobs. Now, I advised her against it. Again, I don't want to say who this person is. I mean, why, if you have two jobs, would you give up one just to have one job?
Well,
right?
Sometimes it's a good move.
I mean, it just seems like a no-brainer. I mean, let's quote In Living Color. I mean, one job, you lazy go. You can only do one job now.
Why would I want to see my kids at night? It makes no sense.
Oh, we thought we'd lighten things up a little. Good to have her with us, of course. And Susan, good to see you. Good to have you with us. For more tips on improving your work life, just go to our partner in health, WebMD.com, and search job stress. And it is so good to have you here full time now.